Today we're going to be checking out this CompX Gaming sleeper mouse. Whether you're a hardcore gamer, casual, or just all-around gamer, this mouse is going to be perfect for you. And I will say I'm a huge fan of this packaging. That has some nice illustration artwork, which is definitely something most companies they don't do. They usually just have like some basic box, but this thing looks really cool and has a nice presentation. So what's included in the box is of course going to be the mouse, and under the mouse you can see there's going to be a little slot here where the USB-A dongle is being stored. Then you're going to have this braided USB-A to USB-C cable. This thing feels very high quality, nice and fluffy. And you're also going to have this adapter that goes from USB-A to USB-C, so that way you can connect this mouse to any computer with no issues. And last but not least, you're going to have some included skates, and that's going to give your mouse a different feel. So by default you have like this more hard surface, and these are going to give you a more soft, smooth gliding experience. This is going to be a personal preference thing, so it's up to you on whether you want to stick these onto your mouse. Alright, so first impressions with this mouse, I absolutely love how lightweight this thing is and the design aesthetics as well. This thing is going to come in at 53 grams, which is much lighter than the almighty and all popular Logitech Super Light mouse, and it's also going to have a very clean design aesthetic. I mean, it's a little more busier with all the holes, but that's part of the design to make it super lightweight, but I think it looks really clean overall. And over here on the bottom you can see there's some cutouts as well, which is really helping add to that lightweight mouse. Now, as far as the buttons go, they're going to be pretty minimal, and you're only going to have a few on here. What you're going to have is your forward and backward button, and then on the front of the mouse you're going to have your right click, left click, and then you're going to have a scroll wheel that's up, down, and then click, and there's no left or right tilt here. And then on the back of the mouse you're going to have the DPI switching button, as well as a power on and power off switch. So as you can tell, this is going to be a pretty simple mouse. It's not going to be really made for MMO or RPG gamers, because typically with those type of gamers you need more buttons to have more shortcuts available at your fingertips. This is more for people that are into FPS gaming and want the highest possible performance possible. Now, as far as the materials go on this mouse, it's going to be made pretty much fully of plastic, with the exception of the scroll wheel. This thing's going to have a nice grippy rubber grip, and the grip is going to feel firm, and it's going to give you a very accurate scrolling experience. And then the buttons on the side, they're also plastic, but they're going to have like a more texturized finish, so that's going to give you also a more firm grip when pressing it with your thumb. Now, as far as the sensor goes, this is going to be using a 19K DPI sensor, which is going to give you a wide range of different speeds available to your preference. And then the sensor itself is going to have a 1000 Hz polling rate, so that's going to prevent any of that lag that cheaper and slower mice typically have. So this thing's going to be pretty darn fast for the most part. So in order to connect this mouse to your computer, all you do is you just use the USB-A dongle, plug it into your computer, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and do that now. Once it's plugged in, all you do is flick the power button on, and you can see a little light turns on right there. And now you're connected, and this mouse is good to go. It's plug and play, and it's ready to use right out of the box. Now, as far as the comfort of this mouse goes, it can be used pretty much with all of the three main grip styles. The first one is going to be palm, where you just kind of press your palm against the mouse like this and just use it like that. That's going to be very comfortable and natural feeling. The next one is going to be claw grip, where your knuckles kind of go against the top of the mouse, and then you kind of claw it like that. This is going to feel good as well if you're into claw gripping. And then the last grip is going to be the fingertip grip, where your palm kind of floats above the bottom of the mouse, and you kind of use it like kind of propped up like that. So this feels pretty good to me as well. Now, I'm someone who has mid-sized hands, but if you have smaller or large hands, this mouse is going to be just fine, because I felt like there was a little bit of room for my hands to be larger or even smaller and still have a comfortable user experience. Now, as far as the clicks go, this thing is going to be really nice. So let's go ahead and do a quick click test. So the clicks sounded super satisfying, very polished as well. I don't know what they did with this mouse, but it just feels really good when actually scrolling with the scroll wheel. It feels so polished and so smooth. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels good. And same with the clicks. When I press them, I don't know, it's just so satisfying. It's tactile, has a little bit of noise to it, but not too loud. But it just feels really good. And then the side buttons as well, They just feel very tactile, so a huge fan of this. Now, as far as RGB lights go, there is going to be none here, and that's by design. The reason they did that is because they're trying to keep this mouse as lightweight as possible. If they started having RGB lights, they would need a bigger battery, lights, and that's going to add to the weight. And if it did have lights, you would be sacrificing that lightweight performance over something that's not really necessary, just a little design aesthetic. And when it comes to software, they do have some software you can install that is only for Windows. They're not going to have any Mac support, so keep that in mind if you are a Mac user. And in the software, you can control things like your DPI and a few other settings. So if you're a hardcore gamer, FPS gamer, or just a casual user who just wants a really cool and comfortable mouse, then this is definitely one to consider, the CompX Gaming Mouse Sleeper. If you want to learn more about this mouse, be sure to click my link down in the description below, and you can learn all the specs and details about this mouse. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.